What's up, NB family? This is your favorite Antico Yali reporting direct from bed. Oh my gosh, we're so cozy pilled today. I just wanted to make this little video about nonviolent communication. I think that shit is so whack. I used to think it was awesome, but actually it ended up getting me into trouble. And by trouble, I mean alienating friends and ex-lovers. Swing. So okay, here's the whole thing. I'm so sleepy. I'm like supposed to be taking a nap right now, but I just felt like talking about this because I opened up YouTube, this thing that we're on right now, and I saw a video about nonviolent communication. I was like, fuck it. Let me just rant about this for a minute. So okay, I think like the principles of it are very nice, and like if you saw my last video about like the whole shit about like masculinity and like not wanting to hurt people and stuff, I like really embraced, even before I had heard about like the term nonviolent communication. I was like really trying to be like, okay, words have a lot of power, communication has a lot of power. What can we do with this on my check my privilege shit? How do I communicate the things I want? Because they go, oh my gosh, men are assertive and just like whatever, but if women are assertive, then they get called bitches or something like that. So, and well, oh yeah, well yeah, there was like just something, I don't even remember what it was. This was like 10 years ago, but a friend of mine, I guess I said something that hurt my friend's feelings, and they said, you should really think before you speak. And oh my God, I was like really impressionable and smoking a lot of weed and paranoid. And man, I took that shit to heart. And then, wow, for a really long time, up until like very recently, and still a lot of the time, but I was like, wow, before I say anything to anyone, I'm gonna think really hard about, could this possibly be interpreted or taken or perceived in a way that would like hurt someone's feelings or make someone uncomfortable or blah, 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 blah. And wow, just what a thing to put yourself through. Cause like, that's just so much self-monitoring. Oh, hi, Mish. You want to take a nap? Here, come here. Let's see, sometimes, a lot of the time, he comes and lays on my chest, but only when he's in the mood. I wish he would do it when I'm in the mood, but hey, he's the boss. Mish, you want to be in the video? You're so cute. So, but then, okay, like, here's like where I'm at with it now, is that actually, nonviolent communication is like inhuman. Like, we're not like perfect robots. We're not perfect automatons who just like, the nonviolent communication is how you get to like that meme stuff where like a year or whatever ago, it was like, oh, sorry, I'm actually at capacity and don't have time for whatever. Please reach to me at a later, like whatever, that kind of thing. And it's like, I don't know. I'll just tell you my example, which like, this is like such like a dumb example but I don't know. This is just how it went out. It was like my ex one morning was just like complaining to me about her coworker, and I was just having my own shit that morning. And so I told her, I was just like, hey, like I actually don't have like the space for this right now. Like, is there someone else you could talk to, or like, can you like, figure some of this out on your own, and I'd be happy to talk about it later or something. Which, I don't know. I still, like, whatever. I'm bitter. I thought that was pretty much fine of a thing to say, but then she got upset at me for that and was just like, I don't know, like, yeah, it's like I kind of made it like clinical or something like that when I was really trying to just be like, but then later, like, we talked about it, and like I was just like, yeah, in that moment I was just like, I just can't right now. And she was like, I wish you had just said that, which, what a hard thing for me to hear as someone who has spent so many hours agonizing over what is like the best way to communicate something. And to me, saying I just can't right now feels like an attack or something. Like, I don't know. I mean, look, this is just me. I'm still getting good at boundaries. They're really, really hard for me. As someone who, I don't know, grew up with permissive parents and then all this other stuff, who cares why it is? The point is, boundaries are hard for me, but I'm getting better. Pretty good. I've set a couple boundaries in the last couple like weeks, and like little relationships and little like flings or whatever. And so that feels really good. My therapist, oh my gosh, just yesterday told me, this is about to become a whole thing about boundaries, but was like, I'm always thinking, I think the boundaries where it's like, hey, like, actually don't do this, it makes me uncomfortable, those are a lot easier for me to set. But then the boundaries that are like, it was like tough to me with like a few of my exes. Like, it wouldn't be like they did something that hurt me, but it would be like I like wanted to go, let's say, like to a rave or something, and they were just like, like, I don't know, like this, or like, I don't know, just like making me feel kind of bad about the things that I was into because they weren't into them, which is just like a bummer. And it's hard to say, hey, like, can you get on my level, can you like come have fun in the way that I like to have fun, in this way that, like, I don't know, I think like we just assume that the person who loves us will just like love the things that we're into or whatever. But I don't know, my therapist was saying like, oh, like the way to make that kind of boundary is just being like, hey, when you say like these negative things about the things that I love, it makes me feel like you don't love me, and it makes me feel anxious to share myself with you. And right, like, boundaries is all about like showing people how we want to be loved, and like what love is to us, and that kind of thing. So I'm trying to get really better at that. And yeah, just being direct about it, and not just being like, like, I don't know. Now that I've been kind of trying to do my best to move away from the nonviolent communication, it's almost like hard for me to get back in that space. But yeah, I don't know. I also just think that the nonviolent communication thing is kind of used to, is kind of like a superiority thing. Is just like, oh, if you're just kind of like being emotionally reactive and just saying like the whatever like thing is on your mind, then like, meanwhile I'm able to kind of like rationally, I don't have examples right now because I'm sleepy, but like that type of thing, then you get to be like, wow, like this, but my interlocutor, which is just a big word for the person you're talking to. Man, I went to college AF. When you're talking with your conversation partner, it lets you be like, oh, like this person's being so emotional, this person's being so blah blah blah, meanwhile I'm so high and mighty, I'm able to control my emotions. But it's like, dude, like, nah, it just makes you like further away from being human. And like, I don't know, just ways that I've tried to solve problems by like almost like, yeah, like appealing to this like mentality and this like thing outside of myself, being like, oh, like this is the proper way to do things, this like whole modality, this framework will help me to have like more effective conversations. But it's like, those are ideas that someone else came up with that I'm just trying to adopt to like be like sweet and not harmful. But dude, like, humans are messy, like that's a whole part of it. Like, I don't know, these days, like, I'm much more down for someone to just like say something kind of flagrant to me. I mean, you'd be like, oh, dude, like that kind of hurt my feelings, and then like we can talk about it and just like be human about it. I feel like the nonviolent communication is within this whole like moral purity thing of like, we should be perfect at all times. And it's like, that's just so, it's so bad for like our society and our interactions with people. Because like, dude, we're imperfect and we're gonna make mistakes. And if you're operating under this thing of like, if a person like hurts you once or makes some mistakes or says something like, yeah, like flagrant or whatever, then like it lets you like write them off. Like, that's so stupid. And like, I don't know, I think this is like very much like an internet problem. I wish I could log off. It's one of my 2025 resolutions is to spend less time on the internet, but oh my God, is it tough. It's like I grew up on this thing. So much of like our real social lives are like mediated, the social media, duh. So, hey, that shit's tough, but hey, we out here. I climbed a mountain yesterday. If you're watching this, I encourage you to climb a mountain. And that could be figurative, or it could be literal. Literal, so sick. You climb the mountain, you feel so strong, and then you get to see the whole thing, and you feel like, wow, like you feel kind of like an old school explorer or something. Like you just crested that hill and you get to see the view. Wow. What a beautiful feeling. Anyways, that's why I'm so tired today. Thank you for listening. I hope y'all have a great day and climb that mountain. Bye.